All right, this video is to go over the procedure for using a Healthline simulator to check out the apnea monitor between patients. So every time you pick up a monitor from a patient before you deliver it to another patient, you have to run it through the simulator. So on the simulator, you want to make sure that you have a really good battery, a 9-volt battery in here. Okay, I'll get this a little bit better. So make sure that your 9-volt battery is working. And this is your on and off switch on the simulator right here. All right, so first thing you want to do before you put the monitor on the simulator is you want to do a self-test or a loop test. So you take the patient cable, connect it to the lead wires, and connect the lead wires to the side of your monitor. You turn it on by hitting the on and off button. All the lights light up to let you know they're working. And then you should have 2 flashing lights. After about 20 seconds, you're going to get a bradycardia alarm, a beeping alarm, and then you're going to get an apnea alarm. And once you get the red apnea alarm and the bradycardia alarm lights lit up, you have a successful self-test, and you can turn it off by holding the blue button down, turning it off, and then letting go of the blue button after you've turned it off. So once you've done that, now you're ready to turn the monitor over. Take the lead wires, you want to put them into the simulator. Put them into the simulator, and once you've done that, you're going to turn the monitor off. You're going to go into the menu selection on the apnea monitor, so you can select the parameters that you are told to select in your checkout procedure manual. Okay, so if you look at your checkout procedure manual on page 4, all right, so on page 4 of your checkout procedure manual, you're going to have all the settings that you need to put in when you go into your menu selection. So in order to get into the menu selection, you got to turn the monitor on. You're going to hit the bottom arrow once, the top arrow twice, and the enter button 3 times. Then it's going to say Smartmonitor 2 menu selection. As you hit the up button, you are going to scroll through, and when you get to a certain parameter, you're going to choose the selected parameter by hitting enter and either hitting up or down to change it and hitting enter again, so that all your parameters are matching up to what's on the page 4 of all your selected initial parameters. Okay, so that's important. So once you go through and select everything, which I already have, once you select everything and everything is the way it should be according to this, you're going to turn it off here. All right, then you're going to go to page 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, on page 5 it tells you to do the self-test, but we already did the self-test. You can do that before, so skip page 5. And now we're going to go to page 6 where it says checkout setup. And before you get there, you're going to take your functional checklist verification checklist. This is the form where you're going to put the date that you did the test, your initials, serial number and model of the apnea monitor, and then you're going to start checking stuff off, like visual inspection. You did your visual inspection already. You're going to obviously have this monitor cleaned when it comes back from another patient. You're going to do the self-test to make sure you got a good patient cable, a good set of lead wires. Once you pass that self-test, you're ready to go into the rest of your test points. We're going to start with the respiration sensitivity test points. So you're going to have this off to the side, and we're going to start with the initial settings that you need to put into the simulator before you can move on to your checkpoints. So on the ECG beats per minute, it tells us to go to 200, so we're going to put that on 200. We're going to go to ECG amp/MV, which is this here, and we're going to set this to 0.5, so we're going to go to 0.5 here. We're going to go to breaths per minute, which is right here, and we're going to go to 10. We're going to go to variation ohms, and it tells us to put it to 0.5, and so we're going to go put this on 0.5. And then we're going to go to base impedance ohms, and we're going to set that to 200. So we're going to come over here and put that on 200. Once all that's done, you're going to turn the monitor on, okay? But let's turn the page here. And now, once we turn it on, this is going to be the response after you've waited approximately 20 seconds. This should be the response for these particular settings that we put in on the simulator. Once we've established after 20 seconds that we have no alarms, 100% detection, we're going to go over here and we're going to check off number 1 on the respiration sensitivity test point. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll turn the monitor on. And we're going to wait 20 seconds. And if after 20 seconds we have no alarms, then we can move on to the next test point number 2. So we'll go ahead and change the settings on the simulator and then wait for the response that we're supposed to have. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We're waiting 20 seconds. So we're at 20 seconds, and so we've established that we've passed the first test point because it says no alarms. That's the response that we're looking for. So now we're going to go over here to the test point 2, and we're going to, ECG beats per minute is 200, and we have that on 200 right now. We're going to go to amplitude NV is 0.5, and that's on 0.5 already. Respiratory breath per minute is 10, so we're going to see if that's on 10. That's already on 10. Variation ohms is 0.1, so that's the one that we're going to change here. We're going to put the variation on 0.1, and the base impedance ohms is on 200, which is as before. So no, the response that we're looking for here is no respiration detection. Apnea light should illuminate, and audible alarm should beep once per second after 20 seconds. Okay, so now we're waiting. And we have our apnea alarm. So now we've passed this test. So we can turn it off and now move to test point 3. So test point 3, basically we're going to establish we have ECG beats per minute. ECG beats per minute is 200. Amplitude is 0.5. We're going to leave that at 0.5 already. Respiratory breath rate is 10. I'm sorry, 15 on number 3. We're going to go to 15. Move that to 15. Variation ohms is 0.5. Put that back at 0.5. And base impedance is 200. Now we're going to turn the monitor back on, and we're going to look for the response that is dictated for test point 3, which is no alarms, 100% detection. All right, so 20 seconds have gone by, and we've established that our response for test point 3 is the response that we're looking for, and we're going to check off number 3. So this is the procedure that we're going to use throughout the whole simulation. We're going to go, each time we go from one test point to another, we're required to change the settings on the simulator and then look for the response, the appropriate response as dictated to the right of that test point. Once you've gone through all your test points, then you have a good simulation test, and then you're ready to put this monitor back into service. Okay, but that's a basic overview of how to use the simulator to test your apnea monitor or your Smartmonitor 2. You need to have your checkout procedure manual, which tells you step by step on what you need to do in order to do this correctly. Okay? Thank you very much and have a nice day.